Welcome back! So today we're here to watch me build an atrocious build for 16 whole minutes. So we did a variation on the color challenge. So I started and I was like, I'm gonna do the color challenge, except I'm gonna try to make it like cute, like wearable, like is the word I want to say. Like if we were talking about makeup or clothes, we would use the word wearable. But like each room is a different color, but like toned down. So I set myself the restriction that like for each area, we had to have 5 items in the designated color. So right now I'm just building myself a frame, but like each room had to have 5 items of that color. I skipped some colors because they were repeats, but for the most part, we just roll with it. So here we are making the frame. I wanted like a suburban house, which is not the style I typically build in, but I'm getting better at it, I think. So we'll see. I mean, the windows in this house end up a little funky. So we got green for the outside. But the windows end up a little funky, and the trim on this house wouldn't play nicely, so I end up having to put a column in the back to hide that, like, the corner white trim piece wouldn't come through. And that was super frustrating, but, we get there in the end. It's fine in the end. Kind of. We also put some dormers on the top that I end up not making a third story, so those just, like, are empty space. But if you wanted to have a whole third floor up there, you could probably get away with it. I just didn't see the point in this like literally this build turns out so bad. But like I had so much hope going in because I was like, I'll put down some trees, that'll be the rest of my green, which I don't do till like the very end. But like I had so much hope. So I put down green windows, but not like too green. Like we started so strong. We end so low. Yeah. Yeah, I have nothing to say. Like honestly, I could let these 16 minutes play in silence because like it's so bad. But whatever. That's what these are for, right? And I mean, I did use some items I wouldn't normally use. Like there was some good, but it really goes downhill when we get red for the kitchen, honestly. So here we're gonna make a floor plan. I struggle a little bit with it, but not as much as I normally struggle if I'm being honest. We end up closing off the area that we have as the chimney just so that I can like put the stairs where I want them. But we end up making this a 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath. I had to think about that because the downstairs bathroom is laundry slash half bath. And then upstairs there's like a hall bathroom, like a kid's bathroom, and then like a master bathroom. So I started out making a kid's room. I end up making it like a nursery because I gave up. But we get there. But I think part of the problem with these builds is they have to be so closed off in order to like have a floor plan that works for the challenge. So like I would never close off all of these rooms like this. Like I almost always do an open concept downstairs because A, that's what's popular. B, that's what I like. But here we are with our closed concept living room. Clearly I got distracted here. This build happened over a couple days because work. But so for this first room, we make a little study. We got the color blue. I just use a random color generator to get the colors. Um, so at first I was thinking I would match the tone of the color that popped up too, because for this one it was like a dusty blue. But then I decided like I'm not gonna put like another blue room next to it. Although I will say the living room does end up being blue, which is next to it. But maybe I'm just full of it. But the idea was that like most of the time when people do these, the colors end up like sickeningly there. And so I was like, I want to see if I can make this into like a usable, livable, playable house, but still like color challenge. So I want it to like be blue, but not be like shove it down your throat blue. But it just, it doesn't work out like that. But I already recorded it and it already exists. And I spent multiple hours on this build. So it's gonna exist on the internet. That's just the way it is. We use lots of potted plants because that's an easy way for me to get pops of color but still have like some green for some variation. So this is our study. So now I'm looking up another color here, and where are we going? We're going into the dining room. So the dining room, we got pink, which was honestly kind of the beginning of the end. Sorry, I'm drinking my bubbler caffeinated water drinky drink, because I have to go to work after this. So, gotta get ready. So at first I was like, we'll put up some art that has flowers in it. Like, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. And like, I do think it turns out fine. We end up using chairs that have pink cushions, which I think is like the most unrealistic part of this. Like, you probably wouldn't do that, right? Like, in a regular dining room. But it's okay. I mean, we get there. It's fine. Um, it's a little cramped. But again, I wanted to have a closed off dining room. Like in real life, I would have just made this like an open concept kitchen. Um, because we would gain all of the space like in the center of the house there, like between the entryway and the kitchen and the dining room. But that's all right. We put up some pink curtains, a pink wreath. Like it's not terrible, honestly. It just doesn't go with the rest of the house. So here we are looking up the next color. Where are we going next? Next, we got gray for the little half bath, and I decided to make it a laundry room too. So it's very dull, very boring. I end up making it look like a little like utility type bathroom, which I mean, I think makes sense. I think a lot of people have a room like this in their house. That's just like whether it's like your basement or like the dingy laundry area. Like a lot of people have a dingy laundry area. So, myself included. I FaceTimed my sister today while I was getting like I changed the laundry while I was on FaceTime with her. And I was like, "Oh my god, my basement's such a mess." And I like showed her and she was like, "Oh my god, it is a mess. I thought you were kidding." And I was like, "First of all, rude, but like second of all, yeah, no, wasn't kidding. It's a mess." All right. So the kitchen is really the end of when I liked this house. So we got red for the kitchen and I struggled. I wanted it to be like light and bright, but then I decided to use these dark subway tiles, which was probably a bad idea. I probably should have put in white subway tile. That would have been better, but oh well. And then I debated putting in all red appliances. I ended up putting in these red coffee appliances, which maybe you guys have already noticed, but I have forgotten to put a door to the backyard, like to the back porch. So at the very, very end, I end up deleting a couple counters in the kitchen and making room for a sliding door to go out to the back. Which honestly, it doesn't hurt it. It might even help it. Like, this kitchen is so much. Honestly, without the red, it's not bad. It's just like a slate and white and like clean kitchen. But like the red is just so aggressive. So I did the best I could. I tried to keep the red minimal. I tried to make it floral for a while and like just have some red plants. It wasn't happening. So we got some red coffee appliances. We hang wreaths in like half the rooms in this house. And this planter, like the wall planters. But sometimes you gotta. So now we got dark blue for the living room. After I said I wouldn't do shades of colors, but I liked the idea of having navy be the color for the living room, so we give it a try. I love these curtains. I hate them in this swatch, but it's okay. I think I switch it to white anyway. Yeah. The living room doesn't come out terrible. It just doesn't come out great. Like, that's kind of how I feel about this whole house. Like, it's not the worst. You could play in it and maybe not even totally realize what was going on, but it just looks like you tried something and it didn't work, is how I feel about it. Like, it just. Who would have a red kitchen and then a blue living room? Literally nobody. So, or at least not me. Like, maybe this is somebody's style, but, and if it is, kudos to you. Builds on the gallery. All yours. But I tried so hard. I think part of the problem is I wanted the color to like still pop, right? So I didn't want to have it that be like blue and yellow in here. Like it was like blue and then neutrals. And like, is it still better than if it was like blue vomit? Like if I had dark blue flooring, don't you think it would be worse? Yeah, of course. But like, it's still not good. But you know, we make the best of it. So now we're gonna make the entryway. We got orange for the entryway, and it's full on vomit, but that's okay. We use kind of some terracotta orange in here. Um, we end up just putting in like a little buffet table with some plants, and then I think I do like a peachy colored rug. We get rid of that one. Yeah, we use this peachy colored one. It's not terrible, and if it wasn't right next to the red kitchen, it would be fine. But next to the red kitchen, it's a little iffy. But we'll get there. It happens. We've already done it, so here we are. And the other thing was like after making the pink dining room, which like felt very springy, I didn't feel like I could put like wintry colors or like the orange entryway would have been so easy with like fall leaves and stuff, but like we already made a pink dining room. So now I'm up here making a teal bathroom. So this is the kids' bathroom, and I actually like, don't hate how this bathroom comes out. I love this university wallpaper. I use it all the time, especially in bathrooms because it looks like vinyl-y almost to me. So this is like a little bit teal explosion-y, but like I don't know. I think in a kid's bathroom it can be. Like I don't think that's a crazy thing to do. I just end up deleting this window because it's such a bother. Mm. Yum 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 caffeine. I tried for a while to make the two cabinet thing work here. It doesn't work, but that's okay. How many times have I said that's okay in this? A lot. Like a gross amount. It was like a fine line in this room between like how much is too much. So you see me spin around counting, make sure I have 5 things. The walls, the tub, the bath rack in the tub, the hamper, and the rug. That's 5. So now we move on to the kids' room, and this is like really honestly where I gave up. So we end up using the leafy wallpaper, but not yet. I think I get distracted for a hot second first. Oof. All right. So at first I was gonna make this a kid's room. I actually like that pale wallpaper too. I kind of wish I would have done that. I think it would have turned out cuter than it did. But I end up leaving like the leafy wallpaper as an accent wall, so that's one. I like this as a kid's room, and honestly, like maybe I should have left it as a kid's room, but I end up switching it out for the bassinet that came with Realm of Magic, like the pretty floofy one. Yeah, it's so pretty. Like honestly, it makes such a pretty nursery, I guess. But we end up like getting it half set up for a toddler. You wouldn't have a toddler potty in this house, but I think you have pretty much everything else you need because we do have a bathtub. There's stairs, which is a little inconvenient, but like if you're not playing like 100 baby challenge, like it's not the end of the world to carry your baby around. So we end up putting like lots of leafy plants in here and just making it very like this could honestly like be like a gender neutral baby room. We make a little play area. Like I don't hate it. I think it's cute. All the toys are really like neutral colored. I don't know. It's very pleasant to look at. It's just a little empty, but I suppose like once you put a toddler bed in there, it would be better. Sorry, I was eating lunch while I filmed at the end of this. There are probably going to be some pauses, but we'll just talk through them. Nothing like talking to yourself for 16 minutes, am I right? So we got yellow for the master bedroom, which I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna be so good, and I end up actually doing like a gray, navy, and yellow look. We used some sunflowers, but then I like got worried. Like I think we could have done something cute with like a lot of like this texture, right? So like a lot of the city living stuff, and then like some tiny living, like that. Those like very textured cozy looking pieces and some sunflowers, but I was like, it doesn't match the rest of the house then. Because the rest of the house has more of like a classic suburban vibe. And so I try to bring that back a little, and that's, I think, what brought this room to its fiery death. Um, but lots of yellow plants. I put up that yellow mirror. Like, it's not terrible. It's just not what I want from a yellow and gray bedroom because I do like yellow and gray together. Like I like that color scheme and I think it can look so good. It just wasn't executed great by me. I end up switching this rug to gray, I think. Um, Another wreath because we put them in every room. The yellow curtains help, honestly. And then we put in a yellow hamper because we have laundry. I was impressed with myself. I remembered a hamper in the kids' bathroom and a hamper in the parents' bedroom. Like that's pretty good. And then we got purple for the bathroom. So we end up going with like a mauvey purple. This room was one of the hardest ones because I didn't want it to be like purple vomit, right? As we've discussed. And so I was like, I'll go with like these brassy colors and this mauvey color and it'll look so good. But we just ran out of items so quickly. So I think like we end up having to put on a shelf to put in some clutter items to just like get a couple more pops of purple. But I don't hate how this room comes out. It's just it was a struggle to get there. Like you'll see me look through a lot of items because it just like it so easily went like too purple because we made all the walls purple. I hardly ever use this tub from Seasons, but it's so pretty. Like it does look really nice in this bathroom. So we placed some purple Kleenex, and then I end up placing some books and some like I don't know whatever those are hygiene products. And then we got brown for the landing here. So that's I mean like it's easy enough to furnish. It's just boring. So we put down some boring plants. It's hard not to use like the same items over and over. Like I use a lot of the same like wall plants and things like that in here. Um, just in different swatches. And it's hard not to, but we get there. Then I realized I didn't make a door to the backyard. So we delete some things and put in a sliding door, which I mean, it might help the kitchen, honestly. And then we roll black for the backyard. So I put in some black furnishings, but this is honestly pretty much this whole house. So you'll see me place a couple more black yard items. I think a bird bath and a bird house, maybe feeder or something. But enjoy the screenshots. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.